Sunday Q&A. I haven't done one for 2 weeks, and for obvious reasons, just because the amount of viewers during the question and answers for Sunday was just kind of going down. So at that point, I was like, well, maybe I should give it a few weeks. Plus, I've been busy buffing the charger, which has been taking up a lot of my time. Pretty much that's all I've been doing for the last week, and I just finished the rear bumper. So all that's left is the roof and the hatch, which I'm very, very excited about. It's I was gonna drop it off at the body shop, or not the body shop, but it was like a PDR place to have it, because they were doing paintless correction, and they said they could do it. Dropped it off, was there 3 days, and then they said they couldn't do it. So I went and picked it up, and there'll be a video about it. I mean, it just kind of set me back, because the time I kind of allotted for them to cut and buff it, I was gonna build the subframes for the car so I could get all the Trackhawk suspension underneath it, and that's just kind of set me back. So it's just another setback. It's one of those things where I wanted to be able to multitask, but it seems like every time I think I'm going to have somebody that's going to help me out, or I'm going to pay them to pretty much do a job, it ends up just falling through, and I literally never have any help. So it's just a one-man show, and you know how that is. It just takes a lot of time, especially to buff. I did a complete spray on that car. I wet sanded the whole thing, buffed the whole thing. It's a huge job. So maybe next time I'll have found a shop to buff a car that could do a good job. But until then, it's just kind of unfortunate what I had to kind of deal with. I mean, it just really set me back. Also, I should have had a Trackhawk by now. I'll have a video on the reasoning why, but IA I was supposed to be working with them, and they kind of dicked me around for 2 months. So I was waiting 2 months. I was supposed to get a Trackhawk from them, and then last week the one that I was supposed to get goes to the auction, and the lady's like, well, we'll work with you on the next project. So it's just a bunch of those things. The really good news is the MagnaFlow exhaust has come for the car, and I started making that video, but I have been buffing the car, so I'm really happy. It's a really high quality exhaust. I really like, they sent me one with carbon fiber tips, just complements the roof, which I'm very happy about. So let's see what you guys are saying. Hey Dave, what's going on? Loving the build, man. Can't wait to see how it will ride. Thanks. Sup? What's going on? Hello, what's up? How am I? Pretty good. Yesterday I drifted. I took the Hellcat to a drift event and drifted it. It drifts very, very well. I'll have a video of that. I'm hoping that there was some drones there, so hopefully there's some more footage, because one-man show, it's hard to film. I had a few friends there. They grabbed some shots here and there of the outside of the car when I was driving, but it wasn't the greatest. But I'm not complaining. I'm really happy that my friend Derek used my camera, shot some stuff, and I got some outside footage. I have some inside footage. So other than that, I really, really am excited that I kind of want to make a Challenger wide body drift car now, because nobody has done it, and they drift very well. I mean, I almost was going to compete in the singles with it, but then I was like, well, I don't want to, have somebody wreck into me. So I didn't end up doing it. The tires I was using were the ones off the Scat Pack that I used for race week. It seemed like they were lasting quite a while, and when you heat cycle tires, they last a lot longer for drifting, instead of just putting new ones on and then just going right out, because it pretty much just burns out really quick. But I was very happy with how the car drifted. I mean, I liked how the Magnum drifted, and I just, an extra 200 horsepower was even better. I was hitting the bank, and it was doing great. So let's see. What's up, Dave? Boston, what's going on? What's up, Dave? Not much. That's how it always is with a build. Lots of people promise to help, but never end up doing so. Yeah, I know. it's just one of those things. I've, I'm an only child, so I've never really relied on very many people. I have, a few friends. Some of them help me out here and there, but it's one of those things where I don't really expect anybody to come through because most of the time they never do. So, and then you end up just doing everything by yourself, which obviously takes a very long time, and it's one of the things that is kind of dragging this project out, especially having, I dropped the car off. It was like a week at the other place, and then they said they couldn't do it, and then I started buffing it. So I've been buffing it for about a week. So I should be done with it either tomorrow, or I'll probably be done with it by Wednesday, 100% buffed. And then I'll probably just blue pad it with some fine polish, and then probably just wax it, and then figure out later on, because it's supposed to be getting clear broad, and when they message me, I'll go take it and get it clear broad, and then we'll just have just kind of done. The whole body will be 100% done. And a lot of people were asking me why I did put why I cut and buffed it and made it really, really nice before I put all the drivetrain in. All the drivetrain, I've already fabbed everything up so it all bolts in, but I didn't want to have to be buffing around the flares because they clip on and they're kind of a pain to pull back off. So I didn't want to have that issue with, your buff, you have a flare that's up against a panel and then you're trying to buff against that edge. That's when you have issues and it's really hard. You have to be very careful to not burn through the paint, which I didn't want to have any issues with. That's why I sanded it and buffed it all apart and then put it together. So when I do the final polish on it, it will be, it'll be buffed underneath. It won't be, I don't know. It's just a lot nicer than doing it all in all together and then having to be very careful against those edges. No vid this week. So last week there's no video, but I should have a few videos this week. Tomorrow I'll probably have a truck video, then I'll have the Hellcat drifting video, and then I'll probably have Friday at the Charger, finally a Charger video. I mean, I've really been wanting to do a Charger video, but at the point of just buffing the car, it's so tedious and so time consuming, and I don't know, it's so slow that it really wouldn't make a great video. So once it's done, it'll be a lot nicer because I'll be fabbing stuff, which goes a lot quicker because you're just cutting and welding and putting parts together. I finally got the glass for the car. I need to have once I get the hatch buffed, I could have the quarter glasses glued in, the back glass for the hatch glued in. I could put the rear windows in and the front windows in, and then I need to have a front windshield installed. So, that'll be really nice too, to have all the glass in the car. It'll just make it look more complete. What you've been working on? I've been working on the Charger. That's it. That's literally it. I need more Charger. I need people to help me. I'd have more videos if I had like one other person, maybe two. I could literally have dailies. It's just so hard with what I'm doing right now to be able to do dailies. So what's up with the Mini? The Mini's just kind of chilling. So like I said before, I never got a title for it after the guy said he would give me a title, and it's just kind of been sitting. What's up? Not much. I have my 69 Firebird, and man, it's not one thing, it's another. I recently went to Carmi, and on the way back, I lost full power. Turned out the fuel fuse busted every time I go to turn the, interesting. Oh, the key, it blows the fuse. Usually if you have like a issue with the fuse popping, you probably have a short to ground, which is, it's an older car. The wires have probably been chafing for, 10 to 20 years. So I just try to find the short to ground, or just run a new power wire. Love the car. What's up with the wing? I have not asked about the wing because I'm so busy buffing the car, and I've not heard anything about the wing. So at this point, I don't know what's going to happen with the wing. I'm very disappointed. So hopefully, hopefully I have it by SEMA. I really, if I don't have it by SEMA, I mean that's going to be very disappointing because it's that's why I spent like a week making that wing. So plus a lot of time and money, and shipping was pretty expensive. So hopefully that gets resolved, and I could have by now made the wing. I don't know. So what's up? Great content. Thanks. Any Grand Prix content coming? So I'm waiting. I've been waiting on the oil pan and the transmission mounts and swap kit for the 4T80. I was supposed to have it. This is literally like the whole issue is parts and people and all that stuff. I mean, I was supposed to have the kit the beginning of the month, and now it's what is it? 19th or 20th or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. So hopefully I get that soon. I would already have the car running and driving if I had all that stuff, because I have the transmission, and I just need to modify it. So hopefully that's another thing. Hopefully I get that, and then I could move forward in that project. So we can just kind of go from there. I don't know. I'm literally at a standstill with a lot of projects because of parts or things that I'm waiting on and stuff like that. So hopefully we can get this all resolved and just kind of go from there. I had so much issue with people that had been recommended to that I just tell myself to stop, but then see progress. I want to continue. Confused. What's good, man? Not too much. I mean, just I like something that's good is seeing the Charger polished and smooth, and I mean the bumpers. Like the bumpers were very time consuming. The bumpers, each bumper took a day to polish, and the issue with the bumpers is there's so many different contours and shapes. I can't use the big polisher. I have to use the little Milwaukee, and you're just going, and I have 2 batteries, and then the batteries run out in like an hour, and then they take like an hour and a half to charge. So I was burning through batteries. I had to wait for them to charge, then go back and just kind of go from there. But you can't, you don't want to use the big buffer in those little spaces, because if you hit an edge with the buffer at like 2200 RPM, it's just going to burn right through that clear and probably the base coat, and it's just, then you have to repaint something. So luckily enough, I shouldn't jinx myself, but I haven't burned through anything yet. I had to repaint the hood because I sanded through it. So I've already done that, but yeah, that was I did that the next day. I repainted it, which wasn't that big of a deal, but it just kind of sucked. But it is what it is. I mean, you just kind of, that's why I don't like buffing. It's one of the things that I really dislike, and I've said this before. So would you ever consider selling just the shell of the Charger Magnum? No, I'm not going to sell the shell, and if I did sell it, it would be way too expensive. So it's I've had a lot of people messaging me about it. I also had another YouTuber want me to all-wheel drive swap his 300, but then it seemed like he was just fishing for how it was done, and it was just kind of a hack. So just the whole situation just kind of rubbed me wrong. So in the beginning, it was like, oh, I'll pay you whatever you want to all-wheel drive swap my 300, and then it turned into, oh, how about you just tell me how to do it, and then and all this stuff. So yeah, that just kind of rubbed me wrong. I mean, I don't really need the money or the headache, but yeah, it's not like I'm going to do something that intense for free. So let's see. Well, it has an LS3 supercharged, so I feel you may be on the money, I guess. I'll have to follow the cables. Oh, for the fuse issue. Yeah, I would guarantee it's a short to ground, because usually when fuses pop, or maybe the fuel pump is shorted to ground, that happens as well. So weird question probably, but why is the OEM level finish so important for you? A lot of builders are happy with the outside looking neat, but you really go above and beyond. So out of the gun, the car was perfectly fine. I mean, it was actually about the same to a little bit probably smoother than an OEM finish. But the issue is I'm taking the car to SEMA, and I don't want to take a car to SEMA that, I don't know. I was thinking about just putting it together, it just having, the barely, the factory ish orange peel. I mean, whenever you spray, I mean, it's always going to have a little bit of peel, but it didn't have much at all. I mean, I barely had to. It has 4 coats of clear. I barely had to sand most of it, and then just buffing the 1,000 grit sanding scratches. I went from 1,000 to 15 to 3,000, and then buffed it, and it's just kind of a long time consuming process. But it's going to SEMA. I don't want it to. I want it to be smooth. I mean, I pretty much do this with all my cars, cut and buff them, but it just makes them look so much smoother. I don't know. It just is day and night difference. So I didn't need to do it, but at the same time, I was fighting with myself about the car going to SEMA, and it not being as smooth as it could be, and that kind of stuff. So if I didn't do it, it's the same thing. If I didn't do the carbon fiber roof, I would have saved myself a lot of time. If I didn't cut and buff the car, I would have saved myself a lot of time. So but I'm not really. I have plenty of time left until SEMA. We still have a few months. I think somebody says like 140 or something days away. It's still pretty close, but that's still quite a bit of time. So that's the reason though why I did it. Will the Pontiac be all-wheel drive? Yes, it's going to be all-wheel drive. What are you sipping on? It's just peach iced tea. Peach iced tea. So, do you ride bikes? I've ridden motorcycles. I just don't really like the issue where when you're in a car, you have kind of a cage around you. When you're on a motorcycle doing sketchy stuff, you're kind of just out in the open. If you mean like bikes, I don't have one right now. I used to ride when I was in Minnesota. I had a bike or bicycle, I guess, and I'd ride that thing around. It was just kind of convenient because they had a lot of bike trails. You're supposed to register your bikes though in Minnesota, and I never did, so I never got caught, which was kind of a plus. But they're fun. I mean, either one is fun, but at the same time, motorcycles especially. I mean, they're just really, really sketchy, especially with all the crazy people driving around on the road. I mean, my truck, the rear got backed into by some dude. And then I fixed the bumper, and then the front, like the next week, I was at the paint store and it got backed into, and the dude smashed my front bumper. So I had to I just got a new bumper, and I need to paint that probably sometime this week or next week. It's just, and the same thing goes with bikes. I mean, you see people driving around, it's just crazy. So I don't really like the risk. Cool, Dave. I appreciate your feedback on this. If I stayed in your area, I would be helping you with the car. I love working on cars. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, it's it is what it is. I mean, it's I don't know. What's going on with the Tesla motor? You have a plan for it. So the Tesla rear drive unit is going to go in the Grand Prix. I've talked about this before, but the issue is I don't want to put it in until I get so I wanted to get a base with the LS3 in the cam and just kind of like do a, take it to the drags, go down the strip, see what it does with just the LS3, tuned with the cam, some maybe some larger ejectors. I'm not sure if it needs it or not, but then kind of see what time it does just with the LS3, then maybe go to like a road course event, because I think they have those every Sunday, an open kind of road course situation, and take it around the track a few times, see what the best time I can get just with the LS3, because the new oil pan I'm going to be getting is going to be a Moroso, which is going to be baffled, and I shouldn't have any issues with oil starvation or anything like that. Then I want to put the Tesla drive unit in it, then do this exact same thing, see what it does, drag strip, road course, and then after that I want to turbo the LS3, make 600, 650, and then do the exact same thing to just kind of have a base. I wanted to do a base, but then without the without the new tranny or any of that stuff. But then the 4 T65s are so weak, I didn't want to have to rip all that stuff out. So now I should just have to put the engine in and not have to worry about it, and just put a turbo on it, put the Tesla drive unit in the back, fab some stuff up, put a controller in it, a small battery pack, and I think it's going to be a really fast car. It's going to accelerate super fast, but that is the plan with it. So once I get the swap kit, which was supposed to be here 20 days ago, then I'll put the Tesla drive unit in and get all that stuff going. Let's see. Whatever came of the grid camper build. So the van, so it's been too hot. I needed to put a heater hose in it because I filled it up with coolant. One of the hoses was leaking. I had to order it. It took like a couple days to get in. By the time it came, it was like 100 degrees out for multiple days, and I've been just buffing the car instead. So tomorrow it's supposed to be 75. So I'm going to put that hose in there, fill it up with coolant, and we should be 100% good running and driving again and not have any issues. And then I'll figure out from there what I'm going to do with it, because if I end up converting it, I need to pull all the ambulance stuff out of the back. I'm not sure if I'm going to get rid of that kind of divider. I might leave it in there because it's kind of cool, but it doesn't go all the way to the edges. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it, but I want to get that heater hose fixed so I can get it running and driving, and just kind of figure out what my next steps are from there. SEMA is getting closer and closer. Yep. Can't wait to see the Hellwagon done. Me too. I can't wait to see it on the ground with some decent wheels and lowered and polished and with glass in it, just so it looks like a car, and etc. So it's coming. It's just this whole buffing situation is. I kind of wish I didn't do it because it just takes so long. But I said the same thing about the carbon fiber roof, and look how it turned out. It's great. So especially polished, the thing's awesome. So. Once that stuff is all, that's tedious stuff is kind of done, should be able to do quite a bit more each video, instead of just, I'm buffing the car and you just I just spend like days buffing it. So yeah. Greetings, Daves. How's your back feeling? So much work. I delivered one of my Saabs. Hold on. One of my Saabs to son. He's over the Suzuki's. Hopefully I'll be back on the tools soon. Cheers from New Zealand. My back was because I hard because I could put it up, or if it was on my trailer, but then it's out in the sun and I'm like baking to death. Just so it was higher up so I could stand there and polish it instead of I'm like sitting on a creeper and polishing it for like hours and hours and hours. I feel like I don't know what I feel like. I feel like one of those kids back in the 1900s sewing shit together or something. But the bumpers are done, so we're good to go. And the only other thing that I kind of want to touch up is the bottom of the side skirts, because the car isn't super low, but it's already so low that I started to do some of it with a creeper, and you know, the bottom I already went over once when they're off the car, but I'll once it's on the trailer or the lift or something, I'll get under there to just kind of go over it and make it 100%, so it's nice and ready to go. Do you plan on making the MK3 really nice, decent money in it, or do you plan on it running? So that's another thing. I was almost going to take either the Pulsar or the MK3 down to the junkyard so I could use the lift, but I want to make both of them really nice again. I mean, I've always wanted a Mark III. I've kind of always wanted a hardtop Mark III, but you know, it's a turbo, it's original turbo, original manual R154, very rare car. So I'm probably going to just end up making it very nice and just kind of being another car that I just keep. So the same thing with the Pulsar. I kind of want to just make it really nice, and then just have another, you know, be another car that I just keep, and I could drive around from time to time and just kind of enjoy it. So, but I need to get both of them over to the junkyard so I could drop the drivetrains and refresh stuff, and I'll end up having to paint both of them. So it'll be another one of those things. I might just spray them and not worry about buffing them, because when I paint stuff, it looks really good. I mean, I don't need to buff it. It looks factory. So other than that, yeah, I just, you know, I need to paint a bunch of cars. I need to get a paint booth. I need to figure out what I'm going to do. I've been so focused on SEMA. I know I said at the beginning of the year, before I even thought I was, you know, before I even had a spot SEMA, that I wanted to have the whole shop house situation already started. But now I've been focusing so much on getting the charger done and SEMA, and, you know, so many different things that I have to do. You know, I've really put that on the back burner, but I need to kind of think about that as well, because I really want to build a shop house so I can have all my stuff in one centralized location, not have to worry about going to a bunch of different shops and having tools here and there. I could have a paint booth at my own place, and it'll just really speed up everything. So that'll probably, I don't know, that'll be after SEMA. I'll start worrying about that. So probably November, maybe I'll start getting some stuff together and just kind of go from there. But that's really something that I want to do, and I need to, you know, it'd really help out the channel too, because I could have, you know, so much more. I could do so much more because I wouldn't have to be towing cars here, towing cars there, you know, and all this tool stuff and not knowing where stuff is, and having, you know, I start working on something, all the tools over there. It's just kind of a nightmare. So we'll figure that out. It's definitely coming. I want to learn how to ride bikes on Hayabusa. That sounds like a very bad idea. Is the wagon going to have some kind of paint protection film? So I've talked to a company. They're supposed to be. I'm supposed to be hearing back from them, I guess. But they said that they were gonna. They're gonna be in a booth at SEMA. So pretty much, I'm just waiting to hear when I need to drop the car off. So I need to take it up to Denver to drop it off to have them put PPF on it. But yes, I'm supposedly, with how everything's going, I really at this point have, until I hear some final answer, I'm not too worried about it. But I'm supposed to be having the car clear broad. So, and I'll be very happy once it's done. What do you think about, hold on, what do you think of a Nissan Leaf into one of my Suzukis? That'd be kind of interesting. I don't know. I don't really think Leafs get that great of range though. I thought they were only like 150 miles or something like that, which to me is very sketchy. Well, I guess New Zealand's not as big as the US. So, I drive up to Denver, and it's like 120 miles. So you're just like, oh, now I have to charge. Whereas, Teslas and stuff like that have a lot larger battery packs. I guess you could add batteries, but I've never really looked into the Nissan electric system and how it works and how you could, it probably works like every other one, but if you could add battery packs to it to extend the range. Let's see. Hi Dave, love the channel. Awesome build. Question: would you do a 300 Magnum build? I might do a 300 Magnum build. I think if I did anything next, it would be like any Chrysler product into like a crazy build like I did to the Charger. It'd probably be the Pacifica. I really kind of like that idea of a Hellcat Pacifica, but like I've said before, I want to get this thing busted out and finished, so it's just kind of done and I can have fun with it, and then can start on to the next project. Let's see. Keep buffing the car, you will be glad. Yeah, there's not much at this point. There's not much left to buff that's gonna make me not buff it. I mean, it definitely, night and day difference between buffed and not buffed. It's just so much smoother. I mean, it's even though it's already smooth, it's just anything like next to the car is just like a mirror, which is awesome. I just love it. You should buy DIY Games Trackhawk. I think they're selling it. Maybe you can work out a deal with them. I talk to Jose every once in a while. It sounds like he's talked to me about the whole issue that he had with it. It sounds like he's going to be selling it, which I pretty much just need a wrecked one, and I don't know. His is already rebuilt. I don't need to pull a perfectly good Trackhawk apart for electronics and drivetrain, stuff like that. So I don't think he'll have an issue selling it for what he's asking. I've also thought about listing my Hellcat, which I'm not sure. I was thinking about trying to get 55 grand out of it, but I don't know. It's so much fun. I just like driving it. It'd be kind of disappointing to get rid of it as well and not have it, because I mean, I don't need to, but it's just nice. It drives really great and it's fast. I mean, does what I want with it. So let's see. Hey Dave, awesome build coming to you from Australia. Thanks. Hey Dave, wondering how difficult it is to work with wiring harness. I have a 2008 F-150 and wanting to put a 5.0 engine. I am not sure. Most of the time, you could swap the engine harness in the ECM, but especially in 08, I don't think it'd be that difficult. But I've never done it on a, you know, F-150 or anything like that. So I have no clue. Dance channel, $1.99. Will you buzz your head for 1,000? 1,000 what? $1,000? I'll bust out the clippers right now. uh, I'll shave it more than I did last time, which was pretty short, but that's funny. $1,000. That's crazy. What made you want to build it? You had a need for a challenge. Really what made me want to build it was the first Magnum I built with a scat pack swap. I wanted something updated, but then I wanted something that, you know, it could be fast. I mean, the plan was always to have 1,500 horsepower or something, you know, something that was really, really fast. But the issue with the Challenger, like I've said before, is it's fast, but it just wants to spin the tires all the time. Even with traction control, I mean, it's just really useless power. It's fun power, but very, very useless, even with drag slicks and et cetera, et cetera. Everybody that has one knows. You can see them wrecked all over the place and stuff like that. I mean, they're a car that it's very controllable if you know how to drive, but the all-wheel drive system from the Trackhawk, that's the reason why I want to put in the Charger, just so I can have a really fast, you know, Charger. I mean, a Charger wagon, it's, you know, I didn't want it to just be a Hellcat with a bunch of wheel spin, and it could have like this crazy horsepower number, but it would just be worthless horsepower. So it having the Trackhawk drivetrain really beefs things up and makes all the difference. So I should be able to get all that power to the ground and, you know, put times down better than Trackhawks, because it's going to be 1,000 pounds lighter, which also is going to be a plus. So I don't get how PPF would work with the smoothness of your paint in buff job show through the film, or will the PPF need buffing too? So how PPF works is it's just like a plastic sheet that has adhesive on the back, and it's just clear. So, well, the stuff that I'm getting, or supposed to be getting, is self-healing, but whatever finishes on your car is going to be transferred over through the PPF. So if I had factory orange peel, you put PPF on the car, it's going to kind of smooth that orange peel out, but there's still going to be a little bit there. The thing with my car is I've already cut and buffed it, so it's already super smooth. So I'm going to put, you know, if they end up doing it and we put PPF on the car, it's going to be even, you know, it's going to even more level it out, which it doesn't need to. So it's just going to be really, really smooth. It'll add that, it kind of looks, you know, kind of adds that depth because it's an extra kind of layer. Plus it really, I don't know, it just is just great. I don't know. It's great and it's not. I mean, it's really nice that it protects the paint, because you don't have to worry about driving the car hard. So, and then getting because my Hellcat has all kinds of rock chips and stuff on it. I mean, not all kinds, but it has probably 3 or 4, and I have 6,300 miles on it now. So it's not very many miles. Hellcat Pacifica would be wild. No, not the Hellcat. I think once people see the build in SEMA, someone is going to sponsor you. So I've already working with Magnaflow, I'm working with Sherwin-Williams. So I have a few companies that I'm already working with. But if you're talking about the whole deal with IAA, it's just the issue with that is the people that run their social media department don't know what they're doing. They just really don't. They have this job. They think they're I don't know what they think they are, but they have no clue how social media works. They're in a position that they probably were just stuck in and told to make it work, maybe. But the fact is, what they told me is, what the lady told me was, this project that you're working on is too far along. And I was like, well, I already got the car. The base car is from IA, but I think all the stuff on the project is from IA. But the issue is they think you're going to buy a car from them and you're going to start a project, but the issue is when you buy a car and start a project, you don't know how well the project's going to do. So it could be like, I bought that F250 or F350, that white one, and from the auction, I was going to do some, I was going to fix it or lift it or do some crazy build on it, but then it doesn't get any views. I know that the Charger build gets views. I mean, we already know that people like it. It's popular, et cetera, et cetera. So and at that point, that's how you know the people have no clue what they're doing, because they want you to get a car from them, start a project, and maybe it does good on YouTube, because not everything does. So I don't know. It's just kind of funny that they stick people that have no clue what they're doing, but that's most businesses and companies and corporations, because I work for a Fortune 500 company. I know exactly how they hire people, and they just stick people in positions that they have no clue what they're doing, because we had Indian people that didn't even know what pistons and rods were, and they were in the parts department. So yeah. Don't understand how the self-healing stuff works. That's some futuristic stuff. I think it's just like I almost think it's just like I don't know what it is, but it works. I mean, I had it on the screen protector on my phone for like 4 years, and I dropped it in rocks, and it was all like messed up. Next day it was fine. So you should get a first-gen Dodge Dakota and then put a Hellcat swap in it and wide body it. I don't know. The issue with putting, I talked to somebody a couple of days ago. They asked me about, there's actually a subscriber stopped by the house. So he wanted to, he was talking to me about putting a Hellcat swap into an older car. And I was like, well, you should just put the body of the car onto, like a Challenger drivetrain, because the issue is you put this 700 horsepower engine into something with some shitty suspension, and it's cool that you have 700 horsepower, but driving it around and controlling it and all this other stuff is just a nightmare. So, and that's another issue, is suspension and braking and all this other stuff. So that's kind of, I don't know. I'd probably do something similar if I did something like that. When is the next collaboration? Collaboration with who? I don't really know if I've done a collaboration with anybody yet. So, yeah, nobody likes me. Put a Hellcat engine in a Razor and call it the Hellraiser. I don't know if you probably get sued for that. Hey buddy, hope you've been okay. Just got on and not sure if it's already been addressed, but I hope you are staying cool. Yeah, I had a big fan for like a shop fan for painting and stuff, and I just put some misters on it. So it's really been helping out, because last week it was, there's a few days, it was pretty much 90 every day, but there's a few days it was like 100, 105. So it really helped out, especially being in the garage and there's not much air circulation, and you're just like sitting there buffing and just, I don't know, it's just, you don't notice it. It's kind of weird. So I'm glad I did that, but it'd be nice to have like I was almost thinking about getting a evaporative cooler, but then I just put the misters on the fan. It worked just as well. Let's see. what's the lightest car you'd feel comfortable dropping a Hellcat motor into? I don't know. I'd probably say it depends on how fast you want to go. I mean, they 240s and stuff with LSs just spin the tires, and those are like 2,700 pounds, I think. So I probably wouldn't put it at anything under like 3,500, because it I mean, the Challenger and the Charger are just so heavy, and there's a reason they're heavy too, because that much power, you know, that speed, you want to have some weight, because once you start going fast, I mean, you have aerodynamics and wings and stuff like that, which give you a little bit of downforce, but weight really helps out when you're trying to go fast. If you're not trying to go fast, I mean, put in whatever you want. If you want to, you can do 150 in anything, and 700 horsepower, but going past 150, depends on the weight and stuff like that. You could just add more downforce to a lighter car, and it would help that, but you would also, you still have wheel spin and stuff like that, so you could go wider tires. But there's a bunch of different factors. You can add stuff to a lighter car, like wings and things to create downforce to compensate for not having the weight. Let's see. We like you, Dave. You're a cool fella. I'd love to see you and watch JR go both in a vid. Have you seen his new shop? It's coming along nicely. I've never even heard of Watch JR Go, but I mean, if he's having a shop built, I mean, that's the thing to go. That's the thing to do. I mean, I can't wait to start building my shop. So I'm pumped for anybody that's already started a shop or has a cool shop at their house. So other than that, I mean, it's getting pretty close to. We're getting pretty close to an hour. I need to edit a video for tomorrow and do laundry and stuff like that. So, like I said, I didn't do live stream for 2 weeks. I didn't even post a video last week just because I was buffing. And, that's pretty much all I did all last week. So should have some videos this week to try to get you guys up and stuff like that. But thanks for tuning in to the live stream. Till next week, I should have a live stream next week too, and we'll just kind of go from there. Tune into the videos, and see you guys next time.